organization that hopefully will put God into interesting objectives. Just so you know, God is not in the Olympics. There's no guarantee that it ever will be. And there's a lot of different rumors going around. Taekwondo is in the, as a sport, is in the, there's a demonstration sport for Navy in 88. It could be thrown out of the 3 others of the Olympics because of France. There's no guarantee they'll be there in 92. So there's a lot of different misunderstandings on that point. But we found that if you're going to lead karate, you really can't stay in the karate field. Or you Taekwondo field, you want to leave, get involved with world karate. When he went to the World Championships in Holland, he didn't ran the World Karate Championship. As he ran the Hungarian Karate Cup, and as he ran the World Championships in Taiwan 2 years ago. So, this is the direction we've gone. George Anderson and myself, behind this student, his roots go back to Samukwan Taekwondo. Samukwan Taekwondo does provide direct training now. So we do have direct training back to student coaching, and that's where we do come from. So although in our style, many of the kata's picture by picture would look the same as student coach's book, we did put a different rhythm on it, a little different way of kicking the kick. And what we've done is we retained that, fit it in, of course, but we just fit very nicely anyway. We put a lot more emphasis on the dodging and hands to hit that too, because that tend to be downplayed a little bit in the Samukwan, also another Taekwondo system. Okay, if you look at some of the Taekwondo systems, you can tell some of them come from some of the Okinawan styles. But what happened internationally is Taekwondo does not like Japanese, Korea doesn't like Japan doesn't like Korea, they still get along good. Chinese don't like to do the group stuff. But the Chinese have more time to get Japanese and Koreans, you get into that little thing. Taekwondo basically went off on its own. So Taekwondo today, you have what people put up Taekwondo and what they learned is the World Taekwondo Federation itself is involved in a sport, which is a contact sport, and it's really gone in a different direction where the philosophy and that we're looking for, we don't really find it that deep in Taekwondo. It's much deeper in karate. And many of the things that you're looking for with really understanding of karate, and maybe calling it Taekwondo. So it's not that much of a difference, yet it is. If you look at the real direction that groups and bodies of thought. The Korean nationality itself is held very close to the strings on Taekwondo, and has prevented anybody from really gaining anything out of it. Possession rank. You can think of a lot of high-ranking Koreans across the country. You won't find an American Taekwondo, which is 2 of them, 63. One of them stuck north. So I'm talking about the Korean Taekwondo. The other ones, forget his name, that's Michigan. But that's really about it. So there's a little reason why we got into what we're doing and everything. So we promoted somewhere around 350 black belts over the last 10 years out of the group. And what we're trying to do now is systemize what we're doing and getting it into a teaching pattern. It's not much different from what you guys use to sing or anything, but to try to bring all the tools that have been associated with Mr. Anderson so that when one guy goes from one school to the next, there's some consistency in the instruction and in what you're learning in different ranks. So we're trying to do that. Even some of the schools that are very close to him have wandered off on their own from time to time. We're trying to, in the next few months, pull everybody back together again and get a common mind and a common ground. All right, what we're going to do right now is we're going to bow in this way. We bow in many Japanese schools. And we've started using this in our gym, and we think it adds to the flavor of the practice, okay, and what we're doing. Okay? So, it is first on your left knee, okay, then your right knee, left foot, right foot, a leg cross. Okay, you'll find, I'll sit this way, but most of them will cross the feet. Okay. I do Iaido on that, so I just sit this way. I've noticed that some of you have trouble sitting back. They'll cross the foot like this, see? And you have to kneel down some. See that? So you cross here. I don't have to go down quite as low as I do here. All right, the first command that they give is called mukso. So like mukuso. There's mukso, and that literally means close eyes. What you do at that point, you take a few seconds before class and you meditate. What we suggest you do is try to clear out of your mind different things that have gone on during the day. Just calm yourself down and turn your mind to what you're going to be learning in class. Okay, nothing more than that, but it's a need. Also, when we do that, we do breathe. And let's take a few seconds here and learn the breathing pattern. Usually knows how to calm yourself down. And if you ever notice many animals in dangerous situations in that, they start in their breathing pattern. That usually gives you control, the adrenaline flows throughout the body, different things like that. You can get shoot out in a life-and-death situation. Okay, it causes you to lose control of your breathing, heart, things like that. So, what we try to do is develop a 30-second interval. 30-second inhale, 30-second exhale. You won't do that the first time. We're going to go for about a count of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you having trouble keeping a steady rhythm? Steady inhale and steady exhale? You tend to find yourself inhaling your exhale in short gaps. First. On the exhale, what they do is quick tongue gets loose in the mouth. And after about a minute or two, they bow to the front. And the word for that is showman forward, or front. Showman also at one time was the name of the god, but we're using it in the sense of showmanese or to the front bow. In our gym, we have an American flag. And here you have your club flag. Showmanese. Okay, also, the commands would be given by the senior students, not by the instructor here or at Morris's, but would be given by you. So it would be showmanese, raise. Left hand, right hand, and bow. Now, don't put your head way down, okay, but you should bow a little lower than the instructor. That's considered polite. Then the instructor comes up first, right hand, left hand. And when he comes up, the senior student there comes up, and everybody, then you're up, and you're up. As the guy to your right comes up, you come up. So it's just like the next card coming up right down the road. You got it? Okay, the instructor turns to face his class, and the command then is sensing these breaks. Sensing these breaks. You bow. You need to be a little more quicker on the up and up, but that's basically how we do it in our gym. Okay, I think it adds a little more feeling and flow. The training systems are basically very military. Standing, bow, and that type of thing. You find it. So this is the way we do it. Now we're going to go through some real quick exercises, and these are yoga type exercises that we use to balance out the body at the beginning of the class. I think you might find it a little bit interesting. The first one's like this. Your hands out like this. Holding out. Now as you do this, you inhale. Slowly inhale. Exhale. Then up. Like this. And then like a cat. Inhale. Exhale. Depending, you can do each one. 2 inhales, 2 exhales, or whatever. Okay? Lay down. And as you breathe diaphragmatically. Use your diaphragm while you breathe. Don't just expand your chest. Okay, and then from here, don't push up on here, but just up. Just don't really push with your hand. Okay? Hands are loose, palms down. Okay, now raise your feet, your knees, your legs. You grab your ankles. Up. Okay. So I put your toes right here. That's it. Then over your head. Over your head. Okay? Now, down. We don't sit up, but I want you to sit up on this one if you can. Tuck your feet as best you can through a lotus. I'm not good at that. But what you do is you do that, and you lay back here and you grab here. Okay, then you inhale, and as you exhale, push your back against the floor flat. Inhale, you arch your back off the floor, and then exhale, pull down this way. Don't just let your feet come up. Try to keep your flat on the floor. You grab right here, you do by your side. Here. You pull for the inhale, and you relax for this. Okay? Next one is put your foot out like this. Tuck your right foot in here, and put your left foot this way. Or either way. I got my left foot touching my right foot over there. You get the idea. Now, with your right knee's up, put your left elbow on your knee. So see what the outside is. The other way. The other way. The other way. If you got your right knee up, how many people have put your left hand on the outside? Okay, right? Now, and you just try to lay your elbow. You won't be able to do it. Most of you will. Flat against your leg. And again, please point your diaphragm down. Okay? Switch. I don't know if you heard it or not, but you hear me second that. You hear it? Okay? Lay back. Grab your ankles. Stand up. Okay. This point here, actually, got one out of order. You don't consider these things together. Next one. So a gate on it. Lock your hands together behind your knees. Just lay straight forward with your hands. Okay, we do those before and after class. And then after this, we break into the 2-man stretches. There are other, we do use other stretches out of the class to depend on the stretches. That's a common one that we do here, one that not a lot of people are familiar with. Next thing we get into in class, we're going to do some of our basics. We're going to do them certain ways. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our leg up. Knee up high. But when you do it, your foot is not here. It's up. See that? So 1, up. 2. And this foot's flat to the floor, right? Don't do this when you pick it up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, one other thing. When you pick it up, don't bend it away. So let's keep up and down this straight. 1, 2. You want to play. Put your hands like this. 1, 2. Put your hands so you can't drop them, right? But you got to hit them with your knees. Got that? Put your head where you get it. 3. Drop. 4. Down, drop. 5. Higher. 6. That's the 7. Keep it chambering. We call this chambering the leg. 8, 9, 10. So I left them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Higher. 6. That's when you got to get lazy with your left leg. 7, 8, 9. Keep your foot up. 10. Yeah, so you were bringing it out a little bit. Try to keep it up. All right, now we get to our left lunge stand. Remember, weight is forward. Too many beginning students have to get lazy and you prop yourself up against your back leg. Can't do it. You got to be on here with your weight here. Okay? You're a little wide. That's kind of narrow. And bend that front knee. Bend that front knee. Yeah. You got one of those. There. Bend that front knee. You're a little wide. You're not even one. Right? Okay, now what we're going to do, and this is important, we're going to keep this back leg, and we're going to bring it up like this. 1, 2, 3. Got that? 4. Keep it changing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. But when we bring the foot up, the foot doesn't come up this way. It comes up this way. Have you been to our kicking over the bow class? Come here. I'll tell you what I mean. We don't have a bow. We'll have to use this. Okay? So you can sit down with it. You get around so that we don't have to. These are the top sheets, not that way. So I need 2 volunteers. All you have to do is hold it. Okay. All right, now. These are good to you, okay? What you're going to do is you just do it like this. And well, okay, that's like this. See if you blow it, it's not right hand. Do it this way too. I got that pretty high on my knees. Right? Now. It's a little harder. And keep hands right here like this, too. Now you can't keep it very slow. You understand what I mean? Don't stand up. Okay. Here's how it works. Use the other way. Put the knee over top. Put the knee over top. All right. Okay. That's not what you're doing. You're ready to put the foot away. What are you doing before? Start. Now you're dragging the toes like this. If you're dragging the toes like that, you're not going to get it up. Okay? That's what you're supposed to be able to do. So as you get, okay, you're like this. The foot comes from here up. Okay? Hit. Down. That means as it comes up, it's going to be pulled in tight and above this knee. And that's what these exercises are trying to do. So you should be able to do that. Okay? Back. You change your foot position on me. All right, let's go. Back to left front stance. Okay, we're on about. Do we do 10 of these? Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably the best way is to lock your hands together and hit. You can hold one hand, the other hand, but I think the best way is this. Change stance. Okay, let's do the other leg. All right. Each. Each. 1. Each. Go. Roku. Each. Action. Good. Good. Okay. Now, change stances again. This time, you're going to pull this way up. And it doesn't come up this way, but it comes up. See my heel come back in? Right? So each, knee, done, sheet, go, roku, teach, hut, good, good, up, right? Okay, your right leg, change. Each, knee, done, sheet, go, roku, teach, hut, good, good. Okay, so you need to get that foot up higher. You're not really clean again. Try to kick yourself back here when you just try again. Yes. Foot, make more of an effort toward that. See the difference? That was my the other one. See, but you're pointing your foot up. Watch him now. Foot up. Do it again. See his toes for a split second point straight down. We found when you front kick that you'll pick your toes up first. Okay? So toes do that from up. Some styles do train to kick this way when they punch it. We see a problem with that from 2 directions. First problem is, see the muscle here? What happens to it there? Disappears. So I've got no little padding or any protection over that bone in case somebody does walk down on it. The other thing Yeah, this side, so you can pick it up. Look at this. Is when I kick this way, you see, then my foot goes here and back. All right, when I go like this and try to thrust, I don't have quite the same action. I can cover from here to here. I got a few inches of play, don't I? So that when I kick, make contact, much more of a natural action. Kick, thrust your hip in, and push everything together like that. Yeah. Okay. That's not much different, I don't think, than you kick anyway. But you should be able to do that. So it's really important to get that exercise down. Now there's one more I'd like to do. Let's go back to the stance here. Without raising my head, which everybody's in the habit of doing, bring your foot up like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick the knee straight out to the side. 5, 6, 7. Parallel. Put your foot up. 2, 8. Yeah, 9. You want to grab and hold. 10. Okay. You grab it like this. 2. At least we can learn it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got that? Change stances. This time it's like this. 1. It's going to be hard to do on this mat. And then come back. Got that? 2. Come back. Push the best you can on this thing. It's kind of rubbery. 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Back. 6. Tuck it. See? See the chamber back. 7. Chamber the same way you did on the front chain. 8. Knee point straight ahead. Now that means straight ahead. Back. 9. 10. You try to stand up. The higher rank you are, less you should stand up, right? Change stand up. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Now we're going to look at something just a little different. Okay, everybody have a seat. You're used to a full pivot, right? Yes. On a roundhouse kick. Get it first. You're used to pivoting on this foot and laying the foot out here and making cuts, right? Watch this leg pivot. See? That's how you used to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to experiment a little bit with range and maybe a slightly different variation on the kick. And we do that instead of pivoting the full 180 degrees this way. We're going to do like a half pivot just to here, point our foot there. But we're going to pick the knee up. That's the primary. The knee comes up on either kick, right? And this time we're going to use more of a snapping action with the knee. Then when you do this, you really don't snap it as much as you let it, the momentum build up, and you let the leg just sort of flop out, right? Maybe pull it back. Because you're laying what? Your shoulder, your hip, and your knee in a straight line, correct? The way you were taught. So I kick that way. I do it in one way. I turn a little bit sideways. When I kick this way, it's more of a snapping action. Okay? But my knee does what? Comes up when I kick. If I go high, it's up. I can't stay there. Maybe some of you guys who are younger, you can do that. I don't know. I have a problem with that. But this. So we're just going to come up like this. 1. Got that? See a little slight difference on the kick. Not this, but this way. Okay? I'm used to touching. Okay, everybody else.
Left front stance. Okay, let's try the whole thing, but let's not go into that full pivot. But let's see if we can cut a little bit short. And as I do that, I'm maintaining my upper body more forward. When I go on the other kick, I end up with this. Just a little different than last. Let's try it. Hey! Back. 2. Back. So you're still doing the other way. I want you to try it. So 3. Some of you guys have no trouble. 4. Just going 6 straight up. I'm here. I'm not over here. Right? 5. That's right. 6. Okay, change stance. Hey. 2. 3. 4. How do we consider both those kicks one kick? What's the difference? Anybody? What's the difference? Huh?
What's the body do?
What's that translate to in a realistic situation?
Okay. In the Japanese, body takes more of the fun.
No, I don't mean that. I don't want to get into style difference. I want to relate it so it's all just an extension of what you're already doing. This range. All it is changing range. If you're fighting a guy here, and he comes after you here, okay? If you're back here, it does make a difference. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, okay? If we're fighting this way, okay, the beginning students will tend to start from here, won't they? And they'll use longer range techniques. But the more advanced students will close and have to have a capacity for a shorter range. So as you expand, you have to look at the total ranges. All right, there's another kick we're not going to, I don't think we'll have a lot of time to do tonight, but everybody ranges straight. You're used to kicking this way. With this kick coming in here, right? The other side kick that they break. If you're standing here, this is the one I just did, right? And it comes from here. So you all do that. That's the standard side. All right, and some Japanese styles, they don't do that. But they do it this way. You bring the foot up here on the ankle. All right, then as it kicks out, rotate over like this. Watching it and back. And they snap it. And they actually use a knife as a heel. Most is, I'm sure, when you kick, you're actually making contact with the heel. That's a more natural foot position on that kick. This one here actually uses the side of the heel. Okay. And fight. Okay? So if I wanted to really stomp somebody to the ground, which one would I use? First one, right? Okay. I showed a little bit. I'm not going to get too much. I'm not going to get too much into the side kicks because we want to do some other things. But I wanted you to see a little bit of that, so we can work on that at a later time. But we found it helpful to know that kick and to study that kick also. And it works pretty much on the snapping action. But again, the knee must come up and roll out. And if you don't bring it up and roll out right, what you do is you throw your foot this way, and the momentum blocks here in the hip. The foot swings out, and the knee gets cut in the middle like this. Okay? So you have to learn that one right, or you're going to have a little bit of problem. Okay, now let's go through our block. We're just going to take it right from this stance here today. We're not going to get in lower stance. What we're going to do is get your body posture nice, feet pointing fairly straight ahead. You want your feet so that they bend normally forward. See, I don't want them so the ankles bend this way. When you bend your ankles, so your knees come forward. That's what I'm looking for. Now, what I'd like you to do is just keep a little looseness in the knee. Okay? Today we're going to move. What you're going to do is tighten the buttocks here, up. Okay? Anybody say in ballet? So they do it in ballet. Hold this up. Now, every time you do your technique, tighten it as much as you can. Keep a little tension here, but keep tightening it every time. First thing you're going to do is low the fan. Comes up against the cheek. Now, when we block, okay, let's get one of the seniors again, because you see how you guys know how hard it is, and you see some of them mistakes sometimes. Okay. Now let's watch. He goes, get ready to load the fence. Just get ready to load the fence. But you see what he's done? He's left me what? A beautiful space in the head. See? What you need to do is this comes up and the elbows touch. Okay? Now try not to raise them up here because you've still got that space, right? You're going to load the pendulum like this. When you do it in sequence, see? Now this is only a variation of, open your hands up, of this type of blocking, which is we call what? Net blocking, right? So we do pass the block through here. Now we don't make this distinction for the beginning students, obviously, because it's a huge thing. But at the senior level, as you block, you see, this is the same position to high defend, low defend, middle defend, isn't it? So from here, I could theoretically do almost any block I know. Or cover block any area. But whether it be a middle defense, a high defense, a low defense, knife hand defense, okay? My elbows touch. Protect the thorax. That's very important. Okay, so again, on the low defense, just close your fist up. And there he is, see? And then block. Okay. Do that back a little better. Got that? Okay, let's try it. Thank you. Don't forget this now. Get back in here. Don't do this. You know, bend your back. I see some practitioners tighten so much here that you're supposed to have a steel ball around here, supposedly. Your muscles tight the whole way around. They tighten your stomach muscles and the back muscles for some reason. So what we want is an even balance of the body. So the posture should be erect. Okay, so ready? 1. Same hand over and over. 2, 3, almost up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, next one, F count. I'm always counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8, 9, 10. Both hands to the side. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. High defense. We're going to bring the hands in here and up. So from here. Now the reason for that is you take your hands and go like this. You do that, and your shoulders go this way, don't they? So that's the range of motion in your shoulder, right? So what you want is a full range of motion, okay, in your body. This is what the blocks do. So if I go high defense, right? Low defense, middle defense, outside. See, outside defense, right? Outside defense, low defense, middle defense, high defense. See how they're all coming off with the rotation in your arm this way and this way. So what we try to do is the block at the time is to review the rotation, okay, of the arm. To utilize the whole rotation, but to stop, they obviously stop and they're not in at the primary blocking point. Okay? So that's why some people, they just come here. And we feel that that's a short, truncated movement. Alright? If you only have one thing to do, you're going to make it real little. You might as well make it big, right? And when you see a dance, the movements aren't like this. They're big. Take the whole picture. Use the full range of body motion. That's what we're in martial arts for. We're doing half the stuff. And sometimes when you do this, it tends to give you a feeling of holding back. We would rather have a more expansive feeling to the practice of the block. So let's try that from here. 1, up. 2, see? Coming from there and up. Alright? So, just counting that. Right hand, left hand, right hand block. Next one count. 1, 2. Again, right hand. Just block, keep blocking right hand.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Next one count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Don't forget the tight.
8, 9, 10.
Both hands, just come up like this and there. 1. Okay. 1. Back to the hip. Count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every time you do that, tighten. Exhale. 6. Okay. Now you get it. Okay, that's important to do that. One thing to remember is to do that. See? But I'm not really measuring my hips moving family. A lot of styles do that. When we want it natural, we want that training in it. So that when you do have to turn and hit, this locks in automatically. If you spend a lot of time hitting a makawara board, you'll realize that when you tighten back here, all of a sudden you hit the board about 5 times harder than you can hit it without doing that. Okay? Now this time, middle of the center. We'll start that over here. So we'll start that here. And turn it this way. 1, 2. You got it? Now also, when I start here, palm down, I turn it where? Palm out, right? I start here, palm in, and as I come down here, I turn the wrist out. On this one, I start this way, and I come up and turn the wrist. One action of blocking, we still learn, is the ability to twist those wrists. See the action on the other block? 1, 2. So I really learn good twisting of the wrist. Alright? So in order to do that, I have to make my hands transfer to that total rotation. Okay? So middle of the fence, just turn it to count. Left hand over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right here. No, not here. Right here. Both hands. 1, 2, 3. A little touch. 4. Do my elbows touch? Yes. 6. Not beyond my body. No, not way out here. 8 here. 9, 10. Okay, this time. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hand out and back this time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, coming from here and locking down. This arm is straight here. And this lock naturally into the body. Put your hands here like this and put the elbow drop here. Feel it lock arm naturally there. Here. Feel different now watching over here. This hand back. And that makes it push it off. Comes in here. Now, one thing that I've noticed is some of you are going like this. But you're not going like this. So do that. So this hand here, right, turns over and pulls back at the same time. The one thing is this. If you want to catch somebody's like that, you say, let's see you do this. And a lot of guys, I'm going to do the shoulder. Look like this. You all focus in this shoulder? You standing in this one? It's incorrect technique. See, the guy goes like this, and he tenses both shoulders, and you say, that's high level technique. 1. So we have to balance the body, right? And if you don't pull this back hard, you can't really transfer the equal tension to the body. And that has to be there. So it's a bad solo now. You guys also, amongst other things, to start looking at being able to get that focus, gripping the floor with your feet. That's the next step to this whole thing. See? And bring it to diaphragm exhale. And that's the focus or the application you're looking for of strength in a martial art. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Like a lotus pen, only about as high as it is. 1, count. 2, 3, and pull here. 4. Elbows crossed. 5. Touch the elbows. 6. Missing your elbows. 7. 8. Get them. 2. 9. 10. 1. 10. 2. 10. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, put your left hand here. Do a full hand back. 1. Hand starts here, rotate out here and back. 1, 2, count. 3, 4, 5, 6, back, and out back. 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Palm down like this. And then the palm rotates this way. That's it. That really works in flicking the wrist, doesn't it? But that flick of the wrist and that back twist has to work in the other technique. Okay, ready this way. 1, 2, count. 3, 4, 10 sets, 9, buttocks, 6, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this way. 1, 2, same hand over and over again. Count. 3, count the next time. 4, 5, 6, 7, elbow straight. 8, 9, 10, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, pull back. 2, 3, 4. Do that, hand comes across. It makes it pull back. 9, 10, the other hand. 1, 2, 3. Do it this way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, how's your shoulders? Tired? It shouldn't be, right? I didn't do any more than 10 of your all the basic techniques, correct? So it should make your shoulders tired. Believe it or not, it makes a lot of people's shoulders tired. And that's one way of going a little bit of stamina. One after the other, same count right to the side. Okay. Let's gather around the circle a little bit. Okay, sit down. A long time ago, sometimes, instead of saying, as you punch, this hand starts out here, this hand comes back here, right? If this hand pushes forward, this hand turns over, the elbows clear the body, it's about behind this one hits the body, you rub along the side, they go out here, and this one pulls right back along, your hand goes out here, and rotates to the right side, right? You've all heard a long drawn-out explanation of how to punch. That's one way of teaching it. What's another way? By parallel. A lot of people taught by parallel. And sometimes in martial arts, we try to teach or get a concept over, not by describing exactly what your arm does physically, but by trying to present a concept. And in doing it in a story fashion, to try to make a point. So it's one of those ways are easier to make a point that you can't explain physically, right? So let's tell you a little story. I told it to class kids one time, and because I'm here to class kids is true. So I hope none of you are naive enough to answer that question. Well, a long time ago in Okinawa, this outlaw entered a village. Everybody got all worried and upset. They went to this one man. They said, "Look," this young guy said, "You're the strongest guy in the town. Can you please go out and get rid of the outlaw?" He goes out like this, he meets the outlaw. You getting this? And the guy attacks, he goes like this. Blocks the punch. Punches like this. So hard to kill. That's like this. Alright, so this guy's reputation is made. He's known as a fighter. He's appointed by the mayor to be the protector of the town. So anytime an outlaw or any trouble happens, send him, he goes in there and gets the guy and hits him. Okay, that's the technique. It develops an iron fist. Well, he gets over, one day another young guy comes in and says, "Will you teach me how to fight?" And he says, "Yes." So he takes the person over and he says, "Look, what I want you to do, here's my punching word. So like this, one, raise your hand like this, two, hit it. Hit it over, and over again until you have an iron fist. Iron fist is what? Very strong fist, right? Okay. Until you have an iron fist. So So he does that. Bang. Then the older guy dies, and the younger guy now notices that he goes down, he descends the town. When he gets older, somewhere in his 50s, and a new kid comes along and says, will you teach me how to fight? So he steps him with his student. So he says, what you do, you go like this. Well, you're one step and you hit it two. The kid says, oh, that's great. He does 1, 2, and then next time he comes back and he does the same thing, he looks at the guy and says, well, what happens if the guy comes at me from here? The guy thinks about it a little bit. He says, well, you go 1, 2, and he goes this side. 1, 2. He goes, oh, okay. And then if the guy comes from here, you just go 1, 2, here, 1, 2. So they start practicing that way. And he notices that some of the problems that he had, the older guy, was that he did this all the time, 1, 2. His right side would get very hard, stiff sometimes. And the left side would be loose, and he felt a lot of pulling and pain. So he started looking at this thing and he says, okay, now if we do this on both sides, and he sees that there's a value to balancing off the body. So he's got this young student who's intelligent, and he starts experimenting with him too, to see if he can prevent some of the problems that he had when he learned how to fight. So they start, and they practice raising their legs, and they put in other types of exercise. Okay? And that's, basically how they got started. To balance off the body and balance it off the feet. And working slow, and put all the tension in this hip all the time. Created an imbalance that he felt. And then started to look into other things. So you see, systems have got complicated to the point that the student doesn't know what he learned. Did he learn the exercise routine that go along with the system? Did he learn the actual Friday fighting? What's the fighting application? And what is dressed up in it? Okay? So a guy comes in for training a while leaves, he starts up his own thing, and he hasn't been through the whole thing. Then sometimes you lose the training technique for the first point. The next guy taught somebody and didn't explain why he did what they did, and he would interpret what? The support system as the end result. Not being able to go like, as this, and take somebody down. One by one. So from that, we basically have also the beginning of the time, like being able to go one, the other side, and turn. So think about those ideas a little bit. It's an interesting story. To switch gears a little bit, when we travel internationally, we've noticed that the American karate now, we're dealing with international level competition, we're telling you guys are starting before you don't have to. These guys are supposed to be trained to peak the top, and also guys who don't mind a little bit of injury, drum on third, I guess. But we found that the Americans tend to have weaker ankles than the Oriental athletes. And so we started to develop a system to strengthen ankles and the knees. Many of our people stand up like this when they fight. When you've got to be low, you've got to be able to take this sort of stress. Your body has to be trained to take it. It's a very important part of the martial arts. In whatever training. Also, hell on discipline, isn't it? And you've got to stand on those stands, right? Does everybody get up a second? Let's go into our kibata, which is called what? Macho, same thing. Now, we're going to do one thing different. Put your hand, stand behind you, so you can see. Now put your hand right here, flat. And this is how you're used to doing your keep-up. This is okay for 60 and you've got to move fast. But oftentimes, when we want to get into training, you got knee go forward, feet go forward, myself go down. So take this knee and let it go forward. Press it out. Not this type of tension. It's a little different tension. Okay? And get in it. All right, that's not bad, but your feet are pointed out like this. You can afford to be about 4 inches more apart. That's a little better. Now down. Bring those knees forward. Now you want to get those knees forward. Come on, let's go down. Let's go down. Let's stay down. Okay, now get your back straight. Whatever you do, don't lean, right? You want this back straight. You don't stick the butt up like this. That's not right. Okay? And you don't pull it almost to here. Keep it straight and natural. As you go down, the tension, you pull in here, but not quite the same way you can do when you're standing, because the muscles won't pull together that way. But this is it. See? There's a monastery where they study Zen. But if an outsider came in, he could trip the other person up. Okay, then he would be able to stay and the other person would have to leave. And he has Zen arguments. Okay, let's get down. Come on, down. Let's hold that down. I'll get down with the two so you can be done. All right, and so what they did, so this guy came in from the outside. He had nowhere to, so he challenged the monk there, there's 1 month, to a Zen duel. Okay? And the monk goes into his brother and he says, hey, who was the head strong monk over there? He says, well, you know, this guy has challenged me to a Zen fight. What do I do? Because this guy wasn't too bright. All right? He says, request the discussion in silence. Okay? So he goes out and he requests to have the Zen duel in silence. So they say, okay. So they sit down, and the one guy raises his one finger to represent the one realization. Okay? The other guy raises 2 fingers. All right? As if to say, okay, you and I are one in the same realization. Okay, the other guy raises his fist like this. And so the guy who said 1, 2, 3, the guy who said 2 runs out the door and doesn't come back. And he runs up and he goes to the head monk and says, I requested a Zen fight, but I lost. And then the Zen patriarch says, well, could you please tell me what it was? He says, why not one represent one realization? And here I'll two to remind you that find the he and one and everything is the same. There is no one thing, okay, the duality. And he says, well then I held on it. The first month, one of us was like, I'm getting my story mixed up now. The point of it is, the second month comes in and he says, where's the guy I want to kill him? He says, why? Well, I held up one finger because one guy had only one eye. The dumbbell only had one eye. He says, he held up one finger congratulating me that I had one eye. I held up 2 fingers congratulating him that he has 2 eyes. Okay? And so he says, the guy raised his fist at me and was insulted. Got me stuff. I've heard this story 50 times and I got to think back to it. Which, by the way, the story isn't what I'm trying to teach you, in case you're interested. But the point was how you can have 2 different discussions and have it go 2 different ways. Okay, one of those days, you guys done pushed with one eye. I guess if I told you that the guy had one eye, right, then the whole thing would make sense. But everybody's staying in the Kibbutz, and why? How many people have stayed in the Kibbutz that long before that office? You stay in a half hour? You could. If I kept telling a story and getting off track and rattling around and telling you like an infant, you'd listen to me the whole time and forget what you're doing, wouldn't you? You'd be able to maintain that stance because it's distracted. Correct? Did I distract you from what you're doing? And you're able to do that. So sometimes they call that doing something with somebody else's mind. Was it my mind that made you stay there or yours? Now, who rules your body? Huh? You do. Your mind. Great. Okay. Pick your knee up. Higher. Okay. Now I want to hear you tell your knee to stay in the air. Don't drop. Well, use your mind, and we want to hear you order your knee not to drop. That's it. That's it.
My knees don't drop.
Kick. 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 Kick, 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 kick. Who's winning? Kick, kick. Keep going. Kick. Keep kicking. Oh, that's all about 10. Real fast. Fast. Come on. All right, now. Come on. All right, who's winning? You or your mind? Does your mind tell you? What was the point of that little bit?
To a point.
Huh? Who rules? Your mind? Your mind can't tell your body what to do, can it? Or can it? Your body told your mind what it's going to do, right? Because I'm fatigued too bad, it's going down.
Right.
But the little trick that we had in the Kibbutz, sometimes you say, oh, no, I can't stand this. And everybody was standing up, and the more I got lost in my story, the more you stayed down in your stance to see where I was going to go on this whole thing. That's a lesson. That's why you keep them on parallel. So you can do this. You can hypnotize the finger for a half hour. As a matter of fact, our credit course, one of the requirements for an A is that you be able to stay in a Kibbutz for a half hour during class.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Of course, we do rattle on and sometimes do a few things to keep them distracted and in there. But this is the thing. You see, your mind and body work as one.
more tend to do is work as a unit. They don't work separately. One doesn't move the other. In some sense, you can look at your mind, your body, as tools that you have to work in the environment that you live. Okay, some people say the mind is the center of concentration in the field of awareness. Not structured to think by logic, it thinks by emotion. It thinks with emotion, not with logic. And it operates in the understanding. That's some advertising. It's not something else. Or starting philosophy. Train to think advantage, it thinks with emotion, not logic. What we want to do is hit a balance in what we do, and balance our life. We work with our body and we see ourselves here. And we go somewhat inside to find ourselves outside and learn to deal with the world around us. Become comfortable with what we do. We work with ourselves, our person, and try to build that into one thinking action of unity, and to raise the level of what we do. Okay, and to learn to take those lessons you learn in the martial arts. Concentrate in doing something that's difficult because you can, by the force of your own personality, do it. And take those out in everyday life and work on your sport. That's what we hope that martial arts can do. Not just going to train you to be a top-notch world-class competitor, but even a beginning fighting student or somebody who's just learning how to take the martial arts and learning to be a top-notch competitor has to have strong knees and ankles, right? Starts with that, strong knees and ankles. So put our feet straight ahead like this spot. Okay? Keep your back straight. Bend down like this and put your hands in. Okay? Go up and down like this. See that? All right, now. Go down. You need to come forward. Don't let them go knocking you in. Don't let them go way out. Let them go right straight down here normally, right? Now, go down like this and straight to back. Now, don't lean. Come on. Where am I at? Here, everybody stand up. Feet together. Okay, who is taller than you? One. Anybody else? We're close. Huh? They're not that much, right? And we're close. You guys talk about inch and a half, maybe inch and a half taller. I ain't taller than anybody else, right? Okay, so down. I'm 1.5 inches lower than you. But I'm not leaning now. Look, you're going like this. No, keep it up like this, see? You go the whole way down. The whole way up, see? You do that? You go down and keep your back stick down and up? Huh? Hold that, that's good. You do that? Your butt like this. Okay. Now this time, let's put our feet out here a little bit further. Let's get out the same way. Down. No, you got your knees straight out. Put your knees straight. Put your feet straight ahead. You're like this. This just goes over your feet and out. See the difference? You're like this. Turn them out. There you go. You're leaning a little bit. Now go down. Let your knees come forward. So let your knees come forward. As you go down. Yeah. I know. It's just a problem. This is get my ankles, right? We're going to talk about ankles in a few seconds. Hey, everybody else. You do this. You need to keep flat down. You keep them up. Some of you guys have trouble with that, don't you? You know, I shouldn't have trouble with your ankles if you can do this one. This is actually a very good exercise. You get some guys, like David Ames, right? David Ames was known for the highest kick in the gym, right? You keep like this. But you can't bend his ankles. Now, he's more flexible than I am. There's some jump kicks that I can do that he can't do. Okay? So this one is get to heel flat. Come on. Now you feel tight, right? So believe it or not, this is a very good exercise to get rid of the tightness in the knee. One of the things that's important for cardio is where the ankle is, to be able to do this. Very simple. But get in a front stance. Get in a front stance. Now turn your back foot as far forward as you can. And now put your weight, bend your weight forward on the knee like this. Can you do that? Now, watch my heel. I can't let my heel go like this. It's got to stay flat. The outside edge of my heel has to maintain contact with the floor. And you can do that and maintain the outside edge of your heel contact on the floor. Like this. Bend your knee. Forward. Some of you have a problem with that, don't you? See, so you have trouble using a correct front stance. If you
you can't get a front front stance, you can't put your foot up in front of you, can you? If you drag the toes. See, if your foot's like this, as you kick and drag the toes, and what do we want? The toes come up first, right? So all this work together is back up. All right, so we tried this, right? Now, get down again. You feel it? Don't go too wide. Now we go a little wider. Then we can go out to almost right about here, about 2 floors width. Down. Let's over exaggerate a little bit. Get the idea, right? You're going down like this. Try to let the front knee to the floor. Now. Okay? Now. That's one thing. That's the way you can train your knees. And the back straight. Okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our feet like this. And let our knees bend out here like this. Just normal. Okay? Knees and ankles can bend in that direction, right? So let's sit down. And up. See that? Sit down the whole way. And up. Let's get out here. Okay, now. Put your feet right above. Okay? Down. Why do that? It's like that's what I do. Stay down. Sit down. So your feet are turned 2 different angles. Go this one. Go this one down. That's your. Now, don't roll your butt up. Okay? You can't pull underneath it. Let's get your straight down. Okay. So much for that stuff. Let's call it Chico dot. Chico, S-H-I-K-O-C-H-E-O-Dot. Chico dot. Japanese is Chiba dot. We looked at Zenkusa dot. 4 of these. Alright? Now, what we're going to do this time is put your feet like this at 90 degree angle. See that? And go down. Alright, now this time, go down, put this foot out. Now, I'm going to almost see one of you guys do what I want. Okay. Now, if you get a bow or get that sword over here. The wood one. Okay. Give this one. Now what? What we're going to try to do is really exaggerate this thing in some way. I need that for a straight line. Boy, you got one too hard. You want to straight line in the bottom. All right, so. See here? Got that? Down and up. What I do is I extend this knee down. Yeah? 1, 2. See my hip? Way back over here. On this side. And this side. Got this up and down there? Hit. All right, now I'm not like this, am I? No, I'm like this. So like this. Down. Down. Can you do that? Let's try that. Just put your hands on your knees. And bend this knee outward like this. See? Bend this right. The knee is this. Now, that's working. Let's get your foot on here. You got everybody lined out here. I know. Yeah, let's face on that way. Okay, point toes just a little bit. And that's too far. See, we want to have the ankle so that it bends normally with the knee. Right straight out in this direction. And he's going to bend this out here like this. Now, as you try to bring his hip back, touch here, and then let this knee go out. Okay? Then what we're going to do there is straighten it in. I told you before, you put your feet to your hands, right? Alright, so that's the idea. See it? Then try to bring your hip back into the center. And then we got to do that by bending your front knee down. And that may go out further. You got all your weight is almost tremendously on you. We haven't been trained in this kind of back stance. This is a very classical Japanese back stance. The back stance is using what many of the styles use. Okay? What we've done is we studied this matter and thought that we need to make the stance stronger. This is good. Okay, and this is, again, the Taekwondo systems never really emphasized that to the same degree as studying this. So between the teaching that we can take from the one part and then the knowledge of the hand and stance technique take the other, we make a very strong twist. Let's do that again. So bend that front knee out over the foot here. Back, that's it. Back straight. Now. So why don't you come up front? Okay, just get like this. Again, sit out and lean back. Give me this up. All right, which one? Okay, listen. I want to do it here. You guys stay in your camp. We don't want you up yet, right? Nothing's wasting time, is it? Especially when it's hurt. Okay, now. Now, now, see, this foot is wrong. Your foot's turned out here. So your knee was down here. So get it so that the ankle bends down here. Now, bend your knee forward. Yeah, right? Put that foot off. Now, continue back. Going down here. You're right about that. Okay. That's the little too far. Go down to that point again. There's a point. If anybody's half squat, you know where that point is, right? Okay. Well, we take it right down to there, maybe a fraction of an inch further. You got some footing. Okay. Now, say, keep your foot out again. I don't kind of move. Get down again. So you got to put on. See, the normal bend is going back this way. You want the normal bend to come out this way. Get down. Upper body. So you have to put your foot up. Try to hold this way. That's better. See the difference? I said your high upper body difference. Yes? Okay. Now when you do Prada, you really won't get into this stance here. You tend to be right about here. See, but most people end up here, 50-50. So this is a 50-50 stance. But this is really where it should be. More weight back here. Now we're taking you clean back to here in this drill. Believe me, that's about as much as I can do. That's going to straighten up right in here, isn't it? So we need that. Okay, now this time, let's stand like this. Just put out 45 degrees for that here. So bend down like this. This time, push your foot out here. Now on this one, we do roll the hip, but we pull in with the knees a little bit. We pull them in. Okay, in order to help the hips pull out, then that's the body. But the thing I want you to notice is your foot like this, make the body down. Go down. Go in here. The Nico action is done. Catch that. Catch this thing. Fall. That's your foot. Try the other way. So these are the basics about the cancer. If they work. See? Let's look at them. Okay. We're going to face it this way. All right, let's put this foot right up on this one. Now move it right up out here. Look that foot right up. Sit it back right. Sit. Okay, now come back in the floor. Do it the way it is. Over here. Walk the ankle down. Back straight. This can be rolled a little bit and you pull a little tension in there. See? Much better stance. If you go backwards, you'll be able to get your upper body down. Now you're like this. Talk about straight down. Yeah, but now you're like this. What happens is this. You set this leg, you put this down, and push your body back. Forget that foot. See? 1, 2. Okay? Now another stance we're going to learn. Alright? We're going to start from, let's start from here. We're going to turn like this. Yeah. Touch. 1. Put this foot. Sorry, put this foot back here. Okay. Keep the back straight. Back straight. Yeah. Back straight. Okay? There's a problem. You know what your problem is. You have to prepare for it. All the time. Tons of them. The break away in the front foot. You almost do it like this, right? Yeah. I knew somebody used to be able to do one leg squat that way. If I keep my leg up there, I think I could do them, but I don't think keep my leg up there. I think I've got a certain point. That idea anyway. All right, now let's try this. Like this. One, two. See that? So I really keep that. Turn. There. See? And most people put the knee here. I don't want you to put the knee on your leg and sit on your left foot. You know, I want you to be able to stretch out of your leg. Stretch. And turn back the other way. So you gotta go further down. Yeah, you gotta go that way. Yeah. Okay. So, those are the basic stances to study. Again, we're taking them to almost to the extreme, aren't we? So we need to handle extremes, correct? We want the full range of motion in the body. Let's try one more thing. Let's go front and back. Pull your knee up to your chest. I don't care which one. Put your hand underneath, behind the knee. Put a hand behind the knee. Now, don't drop your knee, extend your foot straight out. Pull your knee up. Up where it was before you put your foot out. Another. See your knee drop back?
Yeah.
Try not to let it drop.
Yeah.
Come on, your feet up. I was going to use you as an example, I can't in your feet. Okay, get your foot up. You know what? See, she's pretty limber. But get that knee in. Get that knee. Hold it. Bend your leg. Now, sit. You can't do it, can you? Pushing the hand out. See? There's a range of motion here that she's having trouble getting beyond, right? See here? That's your range of motion, right? Okay? Again, if we're going to work with ourselves and protect ourselves, protect our technique, whatever it is we're doing, we've got to be able to work the whole range. Yeah. You have to understand the whole picture, don't you? Probably why they used to be politicians. You know, I used to do it, but I think it's a situation a lot of people. That's better than one point. Sometimes that capacity can help you. I don't know if you're doing kind of Republican. Break the building, but get to the okay, that's fine. You can see where your body doesn't have the problem. So what you have to do when you study the martial arts is to deal with that problem correct. Okay, deal with that problem correct. And you know, when you line up, you learn, you know, like bicycles and white belts, working together, sweating and everything else. Working the technique and trying to get better. You know, we have a saying that the technique of a white belt and the technique of a black belt are the same. Does that make sense to you? There's no difference between a black, don't nod your head just as I said it. There's no difference between a black belt technique and a white belt technique. Anybody explain that?
A white belt trying to do it most correct you can, whereas higher belt try to do it almost every time.
Then how can the technique be both correct?
With the black belt.
One guy told me, one guy is trying and the other guy is doing. You're trying, you can't do it. Like you're done, okay? I'm thinking okay. There are four major stages of development of the technique. But actually, there's no difference in body motion in what you have. Former, earlier stages of technique in the body. Mathematicians are mathematicians, right? Some are just training better than others. They have more training. But they're both mathematicians. And they're both karate men, right? Question is what who you are. Okay. All right, now how much time do I have left? 15 minutes. Okay. What we want to do is we want to review the first title. Okay, that we practiced. Are there any questions on what I went through, what I talked about? But is there any questions on the technique? It's not a lot different. I'm getting it in a different way. Okay, to make everything make different way. Different style. Nothing is not here, not necessarily changes in any itself. I'm trying to say it's a little bit different from somebody from Ohio, somebody from the area, just close to your practice. He works with the instructor. Has been able to precipitate himself to a leader in the world martial arts. So that's really nice. What he's been able to do is expose it. In fact, he's been able to get a title. A title doesn't mean anything. The title is open to what? People who will talk with him, discuss techniques, give him the options and insight. Some like training methods, things like that, which are not common knowledge amongst martial arts in the United States. So we have people who are lesser instructors at one point in time or another, doesn't know which is the instructional techniques and which is the direct point. So if Anderson calls us about quantiton and realization of these things. Anybody here believe that? Anything about that at all? So the dark have glutamation. What is that? You ever read that? You know what cones are? Cones? Where's the star on the one-hand side? That's a question that has no answer that you can rationally explain. This is the whole purpose of the question. The demonstration of the answer requires an insight, but it cannot be made verbal. See, they have this thing that the minute you say that there's good, there's evil, because evil is only the opposite of good. So they created duality. And we have duality of heaven and earth, and that, many of the religious philosophies deal with the duality and trying to find good and evil. See, they're saying you don't have good, you don't have evil when you have. That's the Zen approach. You can't answer that, right? Your mind stops. Well, you got to break that stop. And a question like the doctor on glutamation, they say that it doesn't need to be wrong, they say that it does need to be wrong. The answer given to that is you, and you. Make that sound by you, breathe, okay? And that will sound back to yourself. Another one was, so, on you. And that means no or not, or the breaking of the barrier. And there's another thing called the answer was con, or quan, which is the transliteration of quan you. But again, there's another major mention of the answer to the same term. Okay, so quan you, and we call realization reception, breaking the barrier and realizing the thing. That's what Zen is all about, really. They go through yourself to find yourself and many other people. Many of the religions in the Western religions go the other way around. Zen is not a religion. There is Zen Buddhism that is a religion. Okay, but the Zen that is in the martial arts philosophy is, I would say, would be more a philosophy or approach, or really a way of learning. Because I found that some of the things that you learn in martial arts, dealing with people, the context, the question that you learn in football. I learned, similar things. I played on a high school team. And in other sports, too. So we have a little different way about going about it. And we have a way of trying to get to make people. The goal of the martial arts, we hope in the United States, is to produce better citizens, better Americans, and better people. There's a better way around it. So this is their direction of doing it. And it's maybe not the only way, but it's the way it works. So I don't want to sound like a philosopher that's trying to relate. I'm going to choose that when I talk about Zen. That's why I'm a little careful with it. So part view of the realization of the essential. And that's what we try to do. We have four circles and we intersect at one point. And we define the four circles as the four major systems. And then there's one point where the system is common to all systems. Give me an example of that. Okay. If you grab me here like this, and I go like this. You have two. Does he have me? Do I have him? Right? So this technique will not be argued by anybody to do that. This is karate, taekwondo, any martial arts, and say, yeah, that's the technique. And you can build on this, and you can complicate it all you want. Okay? You go like this. One, hit two, and go. Right? You get forward roll. Go like this. Yeah. I go like this. 1, 2. Strong. I don't want strong. So as you get into all the different techniques, there's very basic very essential. So if he does my hand like this. Fine. So nobody's going to argue with this technique. I can put him into a bar, I can take him down like this, and I can do any one of a number of different things. But the fact is this, if he grabs and pushes, if he grabs and pulls, it makes no difference. Here I am. I'm using concepts of shield and weapon, right? Use my shield this time. And from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, what do you want to do? 5, 6, 6, close, bar, block them. You're going to go where you want to go. Yeah, all right, 5, 6, huh? And there it is. But that's the idea behind the root technique. That's what we try to do down the grassroots, the basic roots of the fact. All right. Let's everybody get up. Let's get out of here. We're going to go through the first kata. Now, the kata is called Hinan, P-I-N-A-N. Hinan 1, Hinan Shodan. It's also called Heian. Hinan is the Korean term, Heian is the Japanese term, some Korean. Hinan is the Okinawan term, Heian is the Japanese term. Some Okinawan styles say, no, you can't, it's Hinan, it's not Heian. The Buddha coach defined the name and the meaning behind the name. Okay, in what he did. So whether it's Heian or Heian or which is correct, the point of the matter is the kata has a very good lesson to teach, and that's what's important, not exactly the name or which way it fits. So many Japanese styles call Heian, but from our background, so we'll use that phrase. Heian is a period of peace and calm in Japanese history. See, and back when Funakoshi introduced martial arts in Japan, it was due to fighting in society. Along terms, they would not allow a samurai to go around and cut somebody's head off. It doesn't have to do it around 1850, 1860, but you get the idea. They were dealing with the change in the direction coming really out of the feudal system. And karate came in and definitely filled a void, and they find a philosophy which allowed it to exist in future society. And I think that's the reason why he used the term Heian. Because it was named after about 1600, 1400, 1600 period of Japanese history. Okay? Now, when they bow in the they come from here, and they, instead of putting their feet like this, I don't know how you use it bow, but I always talk this way. All the Japanese styles bow with the idea. So one in a row, we're going to do this around, right? Okay. Bow. 1, 2. Some people step, I should step my right foot up. Some people step a little bit left, a little bit right. There's different ways of stepping now, right? Now, I sort of follow the basic pattern which we used to running. But look to the left, slow the center. So you're all used to that step, punch. Okay, back. That's the basic. And you gotta look before you leave, right? Or not? Okay. Front stance. Okay, and we're in a front stance, the hips are outside facing. When they block, they don't block to this point here, but they block with the hips here. This is the way you've been taught. The reason for this, they don't want to turn the whole body into the technique. This gives you less of the target. It also gives you the hip action of forward. If you block from here, you lose the hip action on the step and punch. Okay, step and punch. Okay, and this time, turn and go to your right. Notice that. All right, now, up to this point, this is where the change comes in. 1, put your foot back, don't stand up. Back 2, 3. Go to fence. Okay, back to the beginning. Ready? Joy and dress. Heat. Heat. Punch. Heat. Back to the punch. All right, watch it again. When I come from here, I'll run it. This is the first part, fairly easy. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. This is low defend. 2. Then 1, 2, 3. You have a question? Okay. Ready? Right. Joy means what? Ready. Heat. Now watch, go to the fence. Now the next movement is 1, 2. But that's the way it is. Many people will walk here and do this. The actual interpretation is 1, 2, 3. This being part of this action. Okay, so 1, 3, 2. Right? 3, 7. Okay, that's the beginning. Now some of you guys are, again, the bad habit of your stance being this way. What's wrong with the stance? Why? Yes, I must have front to rear stability, right? So to have front to rear stability, I have to have a longer stance than one. Physics, right? What do you want to call it? Engineering? Okay, ready? Go ahead. Okay. Eat! Don't bend your wrist like this. Bad habit. Gotta be straight the whole time. Knee. Side. Cheese. Ho. Rope. Seat. Okay. Now, turn low to pen, just like you do in your first time. Eat. Over this way. Knee, punch, same way. Coming back this way. Side, low to pen. Cheese, second side. Okay, low to pen to center. Ho. All right, now this time, punch to your jaw, not over your head, to your jaw. Deep. Deep. Five. Okay, now, from here, you go 1. Do that. Same way you're used to turning, only turn like this. 1. Now, on this way, 45-degree angle. 2. Same block. We'll look at this in a second. 2. Then 3. Step 4. Okay, back. Left. All right, that's not too hard to remember, is it? It's not very different from a pattern from what you're used to doing. Okay. From this point here, he punches with that hand. 1, see this? 2. Or 1, driving the elbow in here like this. That's the interpretation. Or punch that hand. You see that? 1, grab in here, right? And then 2, and as it's coming in this way or this way. Okay? Raising it up and down. So you can't pull it down. Grab it. Okay? The exercise is do this. You're going to try to do this. That's the basic thing. Right? Okay. Now this time I'll do this deep. Go ahead. Deep. Deep. Punch. Deep. Go. Up. Deep. Right. 2. 2. Each. Knee. Side. Deep. Go. Up. Deep. Right. 2. 2. Now what? Here. Like this. Put here. So, some of your hands, they don't do one or all. Then from here, together. Stop. Okay. Now, just put your left foot forward. Like this. And this hand here like this. With this hand here underneath the elbow. This is a hey, still hooking block. Then this block's out and pull here. Right, a lot of you used to doing this, right? These people are very much here. That's one method of doing it. I always did this. Okay? And Japanese do this. Now, good question here for Bato. Why? Why would one style do it this way? Another style will do it this way. The third style will do it this way.
One is double action, the other is reciprocal.
No. Think of the style, the system. They do a lot of punching in Taekwondo? This is the foot. This is the way a punch, you block punches, right? 1 and 2, right? How do you block kicks? Right? You oftentimes use a pulling back and then coming in motion on a kick. See, a lot of your people who do a lot of fighting against kicks, okay, or kicking styles, when the kick comes in, they strip the technique. See, they'll pull it. I call it stripping. As they kick, they'll here, and there, you're going to have, it's like, okay, right. See, 1, and they come in. So, especially with high kicks, the block is high, right? The block is high. So as you come in, you're coming down, right? You see that? So this type of action, the pulling the block and then the coming back in, is consistent with the type of attack that you're getting. Even a side kick like here, you're going to pull it in and still find yourself coming back the same way. See, when you're fighting with punching, the attack will come in. 1, 2, punch. 2, 3. The hands are used in a different way. So if you do pull his hand back, or even if there is a high kick, 1, you don't block this type of net action, but this hand here, instead of protecting here for the second kick, they're protecting here now, because after that kick, you can reverse punch. 2, 3, 4. So when they're fighting, there is a difference in the type of technique that they see. And therefore, a difference in the style of blocking and that touch. That's really the main reason for it. Okay? Any questions on that? So, if you don't have a technique in your system, what kind of problem do you have? If you miss an attack, then what? If your system doesn't have one type of an attack, then what's the problem? You don't have a defense against it, right? That's one reason why we do a lot of studying of the style, so we can, and then try to mold it into a common framework that we get. Okay, let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are chest punches, by the way. 6. These are fakes. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when this hand is, here's where the breastplate comes down, right? That's where this thing is. Look at this. It's right into there. So everybody tries to flatten the arm. The hand is flat, but this arm can't be flat if the shoulders are wrapped down. Unless you've got really short arms. For most people, it looks like mine. Okay? Well, this is flat here, and the elbow is below the hand. It has to be that way. Like that. And this, a lot of people do this, but in the beginning, that was really easy in place. Now, you'll see seniors do it this way. Okay? Don't get confused with that. Beginners who keep the wrist straight at all times and learn that lesson. At the more advanced levels, the technique sometimes breaks a little bit. You'll see a little different. As this and this are the same thing, I think, basically. So the senior students will sometimes, in their own practice, deal with a little bit of variance in what they try to do. But that should be that way. Because at their level of practice, they begin to explore more all of the interpretations and refine their technique. Where the beginning students are teaching the basic modes, and as you like what then broken down again. And in fact, I hate to use the word relearn, but reanalyze. All right, any questions on the first setup? Okay, let's try number 2. I don't think the first one is all difficult, but I do think that too many things are a little too wide in the center, and that should be narrowed up. Okay, from here. We're going to step out in that back step. 1, I'm going to do your here in a Okay, well, I'm not. Okay, this is your end. So my right is your end. You're looking at the left side. So here, 1, 2. Turn. All right. I want to do that fast 2 movements in between. Let's try it. Let's go back to this. Remember this stance here? Go from here to here. And then go back. Without rising up and down, just go from one stance to the other. You do that? Okay, now. All right, now let's stand up. You go to your left, and I'm your rear. So I go this way. 1, block. Now, this hand punches down. Right from here, punches down. Strong twist, and this hand pulls back here. 3. Then 1, 2, together. 3. You do a similar motion than senior pattern. Okay? Watch me. 1. See my wrist twist? 2, 3. All right, let's try that. Standing up. We don't stand up, right? You got what? People down there look up to you, right? You stand up with them. There's always a responsibility, right? Okay. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, pull your left foot just a little bit. Just turn it and bring it in. And the hand comes up to here. If this foot comes up, the hand comes to here. Now, I don't know, you guys decide, don't worry about the Japanese stuff. Just kick. Kick quickly back. 2, 3. Now, the part I want to show you about this, and that is, all right, so you like this. 1, 2. As you kick it out. See how I kick them the whole way back. I kick. 1, 2. I might kick. 1. I come completely back to after the kick. Put my hand around. And I watch the play there. It stays here, doesn't it? Stays. At the last instant, it goes down. Now watch the difference. Okay. This will be the floppy way. Okay. This would be the clean way, all right? Oh, come on. Now, you got the idea? Okay, let's take it from the beginning. Right! 1, 2, 3. Hey! 2, 3. 1. Kick. Now, step 1, same thing. Step 2, same thing. That's right. Step to a front hand, rear hand. Hey! Okay. No, we're not your hand. Ground. Walk out. Just have to pull in and pull out. Okay? Facing here. So you can afford to give a little more of that. Okay? Again, don't point this down. Because it's doing that. There you go. Put it down. Pretty much. In this way. You got that? Now, you know those 4 knife hand techniques we did at the end of the first pattern? We're going to do them now. I know I'm a little fast for beginners, but this part is directed a little more towards the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So that's just the repeat. Okay. Now, step out like this. Block the right hand. Now, when I block, my waist twists this way. See it? Block with your right hand. Left foot forward. Block with your right hand. That's there, but you can't twist off balance, can you? You're twisting and leaning this way, right? You still have a second? Straight yourself. Think about Hickey. Right? Now, bend. That's better. See? So, 1, then kick, punch. like this. Now, block. Hit, turn. And your shoulders to do it. Hit, punch. Step, block. When you use the front stance, you find it. That movement's done different ways in different ones of our clubs. And I'll explain a little bit about that why. Okay, now from here, turn and lotus hand, just like you used to do. Now, look out at a 45-degree angle, reach, step out height of 10. Now, lotus hand here, just like you used to doing. Reach, block. Back up. That's all Heian too. Right? There's a dispute. Some styles do it this way. Some do it this way. Some feel you should take a toe-chin stance. Toe-chin stance, sometimes called an immovable stance. That's because once you take it, you can't move. Not because it means you're movable, but this is basically it. Now this stance was designed to replace the fun stance because the shoulder was real up beneath the ankle. But it didn't train the hip movement the fun stance did. So now it's somewhat like an in-between stance. If you actually analyze the motion. But there is a title called toe chin. It starts this way. Right? And they use that stance. Okay, so right now for this state, do it this way. Mr. Anderson will probably want you to do it this way. Okay, so I think for right now, stay to the front stance until you guys analyze yourself which one you feel is best for what you're trying to do. It doesn't make a whole big difference which one you use. However, this will tend to get you back where you started from, and this one will tend to lead you off. Okay, ready? You ready? 1, 2, 3. This is considered a punch because my body, see, my stance doesn't change. My body rotates forward and it won't pump back. See, so right from here, I twist back. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I know you guys might do a lot. Okay, 1, left foot up and then right foot. Hit. And that's it. Step forward. 1, 2, 3. Step forward. Step forward. That's it. Now what are we going to do? The 4 knife hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step out. 1. Hit. 1, 2. Block. Sit kick. 1, 3. Okay. 1. Reach out. High defense. 2. Touch. Stop. High defense. That's a shot. Okay, enough. You shout here, and you shout there. In the first shot, you shout on the third high defense. A lot of people shout on the third punch. Okay, that's 1 and 2. I think it's time to touch here. That's it. Wording, ready? Okay, so got everybody out. Dr. State. You got